In the summer of 2005, a 26-year-old hiker named Laura Bennett vanished deep inside Oregon's Tillamook Forest. Her last radio transmission was simple: "I can hear them whispering," but no one else was around. Her disappearance soon became one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries in Oregon's history. Rescue teams searched the dense, fog-covered woods for days. They eventually found Laura's tent, zipped shut from the inside. Inside lay her journal, open to the last page. Her final words read, "Voices are closer tonight. They know my name." Her backpack was untouched. Food, maps, water, all still there. She didn't run from an animal. She didn't run at all. And around her campsite, carved into the trees, were strange markings, circles and eyes, dozens of them, watching. Police said she got lost. Locals, they told a different story. One old ranger whispered, "Those woods talk at night." 3 weeks later, a group of YouTubers, urban explorers, entered the same forest. They were filming a ghost hunting vlog. That footage was found weeks later, inside a burnt camera case. Their recordings showed strange things, whispers that repeated their own words, figures standing between the trees. Their GPS tracking loops, no matter how far they walked, they never left the same area. That night, one voice whispered, "Did you hear that? Someone said Laura." The next morning, 2 of them were gone. The last one, Ethan, ran toward the trail, camera shaking, his breath heavy. He screamed, "There's something in the trees." Then, static. Static fades. Low hum begins. A week later, investigators found the camera near a clearing. And in that clearing stood a wooden totem made of twigs, wearing Laura's missing backpack. Inside the bag was her radio and a cassette tape. Written on it, "Play me." They played it. A whispering voice filled the room. It never stops whispering when you listen, only when you join. Experts analyzed the tape. No background noise. Just dozens of voices layered together. Some played backward, others too faint to identify. Eerie wind sound returns. Authorities sealed off the area. Tillamook Forest was declared off-limits. But locals still say, if you drive by the old logging road at night, you can hear soft whispers following your car, sometimes even your name. 2023. A camper posts a short video from the same forest. He laughs beside a campfire until faint voices echo behind him. Online viewers clean the audio. What they hear chills everyone. Laura Bennett. Some forests echo memories, but Tillamook doesn't echo. It remembers, and with fading whisper of Laura's name, then silence. Cold October night. A place where winters felt endless, and the forests seemed older than time. I had an encounter I still struggle to explain. An encounter that convinced me some shadows don't belong to the things that cast them. It began one cold October night. I was driving home from my late shift at a hardware store. The highway was empty, and my headlights cut through the fog like thin blades. About 5 miles from my house, my phone buzzed with a notification, and when I glanced down for half a second, I almost didn't notice the figure standing on the shoulder of the road. A man. Tall, thin, motionless. I hit the brakes, and the car skid slightly on the wet asphalt. But by the time I looked back, he was gone. I told myself it was the fog, exhaustion, or maybe even a deer, that my brain turned into a person. But something in my gut told me that was a lie. When I reached home, the house was quiet. My dog, Baxter, usually greeted me at the door, but that night he didn't. I found him hiding behind the couch, trembling and staring at the wall behind me. That was the first time I felt it. The sensation of someone standing just a little too close. Over the next week, strange things happened. Every night, when I walked down the hallway, the shadow on the wall behind me seemed slow, delayed, as if it needed time to catch up. At first, I laughed it off, telling myself it was a trick of the lights. Until the night I realized the shadow wasn't matching my movements. One evening, I turned left into the kitchen. My shadow turned right. I froze. I didn't move. But the shadow, it took one more step. I switched every light on in the house, heart pounding, but the shadow disappeared in the brightness. I barely slept that night. The next day, I called my friend Mark, a deputy sheriff, and told him everything. He joked that I needed a vacation, but when he came over that night, he saw it too. We were talking in the living room when Mark suddenly stopped mid-sentence, eyes widening. "Dude, look behind you." I turned. My shadow stretched across the wall, but it was wrong, twisted, elongated, like a tall figure standing behind me, instead of me casting it. Mark grabbed his gun. "What the hell is that?" Before either of us moved, the shadow lifted its arm. I didn't. We ran out of the house so fast we left the door open. Mark insisted I stay at his place for the night. I didn't argue. But the next morning, things got worse. His house had cameras. When he checked the footage, he went pale. At 3:17 a.m., a tall, dark figure appeared in the corner of the guest room where I was sleeping. It didn't walk in. It formed, like smoke gathering into a shape. It stood beside me for almost an hour. Then it leaned over my bed and disappeared. We called a local historian who specialized in regional folklore. When she heard my description, she asked a chilling question. "Did you stop for anything on the highway that night?" I told her about the figure I saw in the fog. She sighed. "That stretch of road is known for the wanderer. Local legend says he died walking home many years ago, and anyone who sees him will have him accompany them. He doesn't want to hurt you. He just wants a home." I didn't find comfort in that. For weeks, the shadow followed me everywhere, appearing in reflections, dark corners, even in broad daylight. The only time it vanished was at sunrise. Finally, on the historian's advice, I drove back to the same spot on the highway at dawn. I stepped out of the car and said quietly, "You can go home now." The air felt heavy, cold, still, and then lighter. When I returned home that morning, Baxter was back to normal. The shadow behind me behaved like a normal shadow again. Everything became quiet, peaceful, almost as if nothing had happened. But every October, right around the anniversary, I noticed something. For a week or two, my shadow looks just a little too long, a little too slow, a little too alive. And sometimes, when I'm alone in my house, I hear footsteps that aren't mine.